Few NFL legends have changed the game like Bo Jackson. He was an electrifying running back who could make defenses look like total amateurs. He was such an amazing athlete that on top of a great all-pro NFL career, he was an all-star in Major League Baseball as well. He sits as the only professional athlete to have ever been named an all-star into 2 major sports leagues, and this has given him the legacy of one of the greatest athletes of all time. I've always looked up to Bo Jackson, and today I wanted to make a video going over his life and career as one of the greatest athletes of our generation. Press the like button if you've ever been a fan of Bo Jackson, and let's get into his early life to understand what made him the man he became. Bo Jackson, or when he was born Vince Edwards, was born on November 30th, 1962 in Bessemer, Alabama. He was the 8th of 10 children in his family and thrived in the chaotic environment. From an early age, Jackson's wild energy earned him a fitting nickname, Wild Boar Hog. He was always active and mischievous, often getting into trouble. His mother named him after her favorite actor, Vince Edwards, but it was clear early on that Bo was destined for something far beyond the world of Hollywood. Growing up in a large family, Jackson learned to compete for attention and space, which helped fuel his drive and intensity as an athlete. Life in Bessemer, a small town outside Birmingham, was humble, but Jackson's raw athletic talent made him stand out from a young age. Jackson attended McAdory High School in McCalla, Alabama, where his athletic abilities quickly became the stuff of legend. As a high school senior, Jackson rushed for an impressive 1,175 yards as a running back, establishing himself as a football star. But football was only one part of his athletic prowess. On the baseball diamond, Jackson was equally unstoppable, hitting 20 home runs in just 25 games during his senior season. His powerful swing and lightning speed caught the attention of scouts, marking the beginning of his dual sport legacy. His reputation as a natural athlete grew with every game, as he seemed capable of excelling in anything he tried. In addition to football and baseball, Jackson also dominated in track and field. He was a 2-time state champion in the decathlon, showcasing his versatility and explosive power across multiple disciplines. Jackson's dominance was so overwhelming that he often had no need to finish the decathlon's final event, the grueling 1,500-meter run. By the time that race rolled around, he had already accumulated such a commanding points lead that he could afford to sit it out. "Distance is the only thing I hate about track," he once said, a sentiment that further highlighted his preference for quick bursts of power over endurance. Jackson's track career didn't stop there. In 1982, during his senior year of high school, he set state school records for the indoor high jump and triple jump. His indoor high jump of 6 feet 9 inches and his triple jump of 48 feet 8 inches still stand as remarkable feats, showcasing his leaping ability and strength. These accomplishments were a testament to the sheer athleticism that would soon make him a national sensation. Bo Jackson wasn't just a multi-sport athlete. He was a generational talent capable of excelling in any competition he entered. As Jackson's high school career came to a close, it was clear that he was one of the most gifted athletes the state of Alabama and the country had ever seen. His achievements in football, baseball, and track made him a sought-after prospect for college programs across the nation. But for Bo, this was just the beginning. His athletic future, spanning both professional football and baseball, was waiting just beyond the horizon, ready to propel him into the halls of sports history. Colleges were lining up to get a chance at the prospect, but something from the world of baseball was about to give Bo quite a difficult choice. In June 1982, Bo Jackson was presented with a life-changing opportunity when the New York Yankees selected him in the 2nd round of the Major League Baseball draft, picking him 50th overall. For many young athletes, this would have been a dream come true, an invitation to join one of the most storied franchises in baseball history. However, Jackson had made a promise to his mother that carried even more weight than professional sports. He vowed to be the first in their family to attend a major college. True to his word, Bo turned down the Yankees' offer and instead chose to attend Auburn University on a football scholarship. His decision was driven by both loyalty to his family and the desire to pursue his education while showcasing his talents in college football. At Auburn, Jackson quickly proved that he was more than capable of balancing his immense talent in both football and baseball. Recruited by head coach Pat Dye, Jackson became a cornerstone of Auburn's football team, sharing the backfield with quarterback Randy Campbell and fellow running backs Lionel Little Train James and Tommy Agee. Bo wasted wasted no time in making a name for himself. His combination of speed, power, and agility was unparalleled, and he quickly became one of the most electrifying players in college football. His athletic prowess wasn't limited to the football field either. Jackson also shone on Auburn's baseball team, further establishing himself as a versatile all-around athlete. His decision to attend Auburn, while initially driven by a promise to his mother, turned out to be a pivotal moment that would launch him into the national spotlight. Bo Jackson's time playing for the Auburn Tigers solidified his place as one of the greatest running backs in college football history. Over his 4-year career, Jackson rushed for 4,303 yards, the 4th best total in SEC history at the time. His remarkable average of 6.6 yards per carry set an SEC record for players with over 400 rushing attempts. His blend of speed, power, and agility made him a force to be reckoned with on the field, and he quickly became one of the most electrifying players in college football. As a freshman in 1982, Jackson helped lead Auburn to a win in the Tangerine Bowl against Boston College, where he scored 2 touchdowns and made a memorable one-handed grab on an option pitch. The following year, as a sophomore, he rushed for 1,213 yards with an astounding 7.7 yards per carry average. In that year's Iron Bowl against Alabama, Jackson rushed for 256 yards, a performance that further cemented his legendary status. Auburn went on to win the Sugar Bowl against Michigan, with Jackson being named the game's most valuable player. In 1985, his senior year, Jackson rushed for 1,786 yards, the 2nd best single-season performance in SEC history. For his exceptional efforts, he was awarded the Heisman Trophy, narrowly beating out University of Iowa quarterback Chuck Long in the closest vote in the award's history. Jackson's impact on the field was recognized not only with the Heisman, but he also earned the Golden Plate Award from the American Academy of Achievement in 1986, presented by fellow Heisman winner Herschel Walker. By the end of his college career, Jackson had accumulated 4,575 all-purpose yards and scored 45 total touchdowns. Auburn honored his incredible legacy by retiring his jersey number 34, one of only 3 numbers to be retired by the school. Jackson's place in college football history was further solidified when ESPN ranked him 8 on their top 25 players in college football history list in 2007, a testament to his enduring influence on the sport. By the end of his college football career, every NFL team was drooling over having him as a prospect, and one team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, even went as far as trying to get him suspended from baseball for his senior year so he would come to the league, something that would come to bite them in the butt. Bo Jackson's senior season was marred by an unfortunate turn of events that he believed was an attempt to sabotage his promising baseball career. After a visit with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Jackson was ruled ineligible by the NCAA, effectively sidelining him for much of his final year at Auburn. According to Jackson, the Buccaneers had misled him into thinking that the visit wouldn't violate any rules, which ultimately cost him his eligibility. Jackson believed the Buccaneers did this intentionally to keep him focused on football rather than baseball, where he was also showing tremendous potential. This incident fueled a deep distrust between Jackson and the Buccaneers, leading him to decline their interest in the NFL draft later on. Despite his NCAA troubles, Jackson's baseball prospects were drawing increasing attention. In April 1985, a major league scout praised Jackson's raw athleticism, though he did note that Jackson lacked significant baseball experience at the time. The scout believed that with more time on the field, Jackson had the potential to become one of the all-time greats in the sport, barring any major injuries. Jackson had already overcome a minor shoulder injury early in his collegiate football career, showing his resilience and ability to bounce back. Even in his first year of serious baseball competition, Jackson was seen as a do-it-all player, a rare combination of power, speed, and athleticism. The scout even went so far as to call Jackson the best pure athlete in America today. At just 22 years old, Jackson's future in both professional football and baseball seemed limitless. The scout's report listed Jackson's worth to a Major League Baseball team at a modest $200,000, a figure that would soon seem laughably low given his eventual multi-million-dollar contracts in both sports. While his baseball career would be shorter than expected due to injuries, Jackson's remarkable potential and athleticism were already turning heads across both the NFL and MLB. His ability to transcend sports and his dual sport status would later make him one of the most iconic athletes of his generation. However, Bo was also so athletically gifted, he had a spot on his college track and field team as well. His remarkable speed was evident early on, as he clocked a 100-meter dash time of 10.44 seconds in high school and would later shave that down to 10.39 seconds while at Auburn. Jackson also showcased his explosive power in the 100-yard dash, running an impressive 9.54 seconds. The man had explosive speed, but was also able to run the entire length of a football field in under 10 seconds. That speed would prove to be his greatest asset in any sport he pursued on a high level. Jackson qualified for the NCAA Nationals in the 100-meter dash during both his freshman and sophomore years. Despite his success, Jackson ultimately chose not to pursue a professional track career, realizing that neither sprinting nor decathlon would offer him the financial security of Major League Baseball or the NFL. Additionally, the time commitment required for training would have conflicted with his other athletic pursuits. One of the most famous stories surrounding Jackson's legendary speed comes from the 1986 NFL Scouting Combine, where rumors spread that he ran the fastest 40-yard dash time in history, allegedly as low as 3.9 seconds. Although Jackson clarified that he did not attend the Combine, he did confirm running a 4.13-second 40-yard dash during a pro day at Auburn. As he explained, with his status as a top draft pick already secure, there was little need for him to attend the Combine and prove what everyone already knew: Bo Jackson was an athletic marvel. Coming into the draft, it was clear that Bo Jackson was going to be the first overall pick, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had the pick, and Bo Jackson had felt betrayed by them so severely he didn't want to play for them. Regardless, Bo Jackson was selected as the first overall pick in the 1986 NFL Draft by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Prior to the draft, the Buccaneers had arranged for Jackson to visit their facilities, assuring him that the visit was approved by the NCAA. However, this turned out to be false, causing Jackson to lose his eligibility and miss the remainder of his final college baseball season. Jackson believed this was a deliberate move by the Buccaneers to force him to choose football over baseball. Furious at what he saw as manipulation, Jackson vowed that he would not sign with Tampa Bay if they drafted him, a promise he held firm to, even after the team ignored his warning and selected him with the top pick. True to his word, Jackson turned his back on the NFL and chose to pursue a career in Major League Baseball instead. The Kansas City Royals, fresh off their 1985 World Series championship, selected Jackson in the 4th round of the 1986 MLB draft. He quickly signed a 3-year contract with the Royals worth just over $1 million and began his professional baseball career with the Memphis Chicks, the Royals' Class AA affiliate. Jackson made his MLB debut on September 2nd, 1986 against the Chicago White Sox, going 1 for 3 in his first game. By 1987, he had earned a spot on the Royals roster as a left fielder, finishing the season with 22 home runs, 53 RBIs, and 10 stolen bases, solidifying his place in professional baseball. Bo Jackson famously turned down a lucrative $7.6 million 5-year contract from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in favor of a much smaller deal with the Kansas City Royals, signing a 3-year contract worth $1 million. This decision led the Buccaneers to forfeit their rights to Jackson before the 1987 NFL Draft. On draft day, Jackson wasn't even paying attention, choosing to sleep in instead. He later found out that the Los Angeles Raiders had selected him in the 7th round, 183rd overall. Initially, Jackson planned to focus solely on baseball and had no intention of signing with the Raiders. However, his interest was sparked when he learned that Raiders owner Al Davis was a huge fan of his and fully supported Jackson's desire to play both baseball and football. Jackson eventually agreed to a 5-year, $7.4 million contract with the Raiders that allowed him to play the full baseball season with the Royals before reporting to the Raiders, even if it meant missing NFL games. This unique deal made Jackson the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL at the time, and he received a $500,000 signing bonus with the promise of another $500,000 if he returned for the 1988 season. Bo Jackson joined the Los Angeles Raiders just in time for their Week 8 game against the New England Patriots, where he made an immediate impact, rushing for 37 yards on 8 carries. Despite sharing the backfield with Marcus Allen, a former Heisman Trophy winner and All-Pro running back, Jackson quickly began to overshadow Allen and became the featured back, even though he was officially listed as the team's fullback. His rookie season truly came to life during a Monday Night Football game in Week 12 against the Seattle Seahawks, a game that would solidify his legendary status. Before the game, Seahawks linebacker Brian Bosworth famously insulted Jackson and vowed to shut him down. Jackson's response was unforgettable. Near the goal line, Jackson barreled through Bosworth, scoring a touchdown and sending a clear message. Later in the game, Jackson broke loose for a 91-yard touchdown run, sprinting untouched down the sideline. By the end of the night, Jackson had rushed for 221 yards and 2 touchdowns, with an additional touchdown coming from a reception. His 221 rushing yards set a single-game record for the Raiders at the time, and showed even as a baseball player he could still compete in the NFL. In his rookie season, Bo Jackson made an immediate impact, rushing for 554 yards on just 81 carries, averaging an impressive 6.8 yards per carry. Despite playing in only 7 games and starting 5, Jackson showcased his explosive ability, scoring a total of 6 touchdowns, 4 on the ground and 2 through the air. His combination of speed and power quickly made him a standout in the NFL, even though he was still balancing his dual sport career. The following year, Jackson continued to shine for the Raiders, playing in 10 of the team's 16 games and starting in 9 of them. He recorded 580 rushing yards and scored 3 touchdowns, further establishing himself as a dangerous weapon in the Raiders' offense. Though his time on the football field was limited due to his commitment to baseball, Jackson's electrifying performances made every game he played a must-watch event. But 1989 would see Jackson take a large jump in both sports that really cemented him as a legend. Bo Jackson's 1989 season was the pinnacle of his NFL career. In just 11 games, with 9 starts, Jackson rushed for a total of 950 yards, averaging an impressive 5.5 yards per carry. His combination of speed, power, and agility made him nearly unstoppable on the field, and he consistently delivered big plays throughout the season. Despite splitting his time between baseball and football, Jackson managed to score 4 rushing touchdowns, further cementing his reputation as one of the most dynamic athletes in the league. While on the baseball diamond, he had an equally dominant season. That summer, he was voted to start for the American League All-Star team and delivered a performance for the ages, earning MVP honors for his play both offensively and defensively. In the top of the first inning, Jackson made a brilliant defensive play by catching Pedro Guerrero's 2-out line drive to left center field, saving 2 potential runs. When he stepped up to bat in the bottom of the first inning for his first ever All-Star plate appearance, Jackson crushed a towering 448-foot home run off Rick Ruschel, leaving fans and NBC announcer Vin Scully in awe, with Scully famously exclaiming, "Look at that one! Bo Jackson says hello." Wade Boggs followed with his own homer, marking the first time in All-Star history that back-to-back home runs led off the first inning. Jackson's contributions didn't stop there. In the second inning, he beat the throw on a potential double play to drive in what would become the game-winning run. He then stole second base, making him just the second player in All-Star history to both hit a home run and steal a base in the same game, a feat previously accomplished only by Willie Mays. Jackson finished the game 2 for 4 with a run scored and 2 RBIs, capping off his memorable night. Overall, his 1989 season with the Kansas City Royals was a success, as he batted .256 with 32 home runs and 105 RBIs in 135 games, further proving his ability to excel in both baseball and football. 1990 was another good season, in both leagues as well. In the NFL, he broke expectations again, rushing for 698 yards despite playing in limited games. His performance that year earned him his first and only Pro Bowl selection, a testament to his impact on the field even with his dual sport commitments. In the MLB, Bo Jackson added another highlight to his legendary career when he tied a major league record by hitting home runs in 4 consecutive at-bats. This incredible feat, accomplished by several players before him, showcased Jackson's raw power and ability to dominate on the diamond. His 4th home run in the streak was particularly memorable, as it came off none other than Randy Johnson, one of baseball's most feared pitchers. What made this streak even more remarkable was the fact that Jackson hit his first 3 home runs before a stint on the disabled list, only to return and continue his power surge. In 1991, though, things would take a sad turn for such a talented athlete. In 1991, Bo Jackson's promising long dual sport career came to a sudden and heartbreaking halt due to a devastating hip injury. During an NFL playoff game against the Cincinnati Bengals, Jackson suffered a dislocated hip while being tackled. Initially, the injury seemed like something he could recover from, but it was soon discovered that the dislocation had caused a fracture in his hip bone and led to a condition called a vascular necrosis, which severely cut off blood supply to the area. The damage was so extensive that it not only ended his football career, but also significantly impacted his baseball career. Despite undergoing surgery and extensive rehabilitation, Jackson was never able to regain his full athletic form. The injury put an end to his football career, but in just 4 seasons, he managed to rack up 2,782 yards with 16 touchdowns on an average carry of 5.4 yards. Considering he was playing in just 7 to 10 games through his career, those numbers are exceptional, and if he had truly focused on football, there is a good chance he would have been able to break several all-time rushing records. However, his hip injury put a huge question mark on if his career would continue, and in spring, his MLB career was put into jeopardy when the Royals cut him instead of paying him his $2 million salary while he was rehabilitating his hip injury. Just 16 days after being released by the Royals, Bo Jackson found a new home with the Chicago White Sox, signing a 3-year deal worth $700,000 per season with a performance-based upside of $8 million. White Sox co-owner Jerry Reinsdorf acknowledged that they didn't expect Jackson to play all 3 seasons as he continued to address his hip issues and a vascular necrosis. Jackson played 2 seasons for the White Sox, appearing in 23 games in 1991 and 85 games in 1993, missing the 1992 season while recovering from hip replacement surgery. Despite his health struggles, he made his only postseason appearance with the White Sox during the 1993 American League Championship Series, though he went hitless in 10 at-bats as the White Sox lost to the Toronto Blue Jays in 6 games. During his time with the White Sox, Jackson made a personal promise to his mother, vowing to hit a home run for her after his return from hip surgery. Tragically, she passed away before he could play again. In his first at-bat after the surgery in 1993, Jackson kept his promise by hitting a home run to right field. He later recovered the ball by trading an autographed bat and planned to have it bronzed to place on her dresser in memory. After 2 seasons with the White Sox, Jackson signed a 1-year, $1 million contract with the California Angels in 1994. He played in 75 games, batting .279 with 13 home runs and 43 RBIs before the season was cut short by the 1994 to 1995 baseball strike. At the end of that season, Jackson chose to retire at age 32, prioritizing his family over a potential $10 million contract. In his 8-season baseball career, Jackson finished with a .250 batting average, 141 home runs, and 415 RBIs, along with a .474 slugging percentage. His best year came in 1989 when he earned All-Star honors and ranked 4th in the American League in both home runs and RBIs. He retired in 1994 and then decided to go back to college and finish his degree because he promised his mother he would. He got his Bachelor of Science in Family Development from Auburn in 1995. He then did some acting, with frequent guest appearances on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Married with Children, Superman, and The Pandora Project. In 2007, he opened a huge sports complex in Lockport, Illinois, and in 2009, he was placed on the board of Burr Ridge Bank and Trust. His latest business venture was a CBD line called Hero Brand that he launched in 2021. In his personal life, he is married to Linda Jackson and has 3 kids that live in Burr Ridge, Illinois. Bo Jackson was one of the most elite athletes of his generation, being able to be an all-star in not just 1, but 2 separate professional sports leagues is almost entirely unheard of. While today no team would allow an athlete to play 2 sports, he is an example of a very interesting time in American sports where true athletic talent could shine across multiple sports. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate you taking a second to press the like button and comment down below. We post videos like this 3 times a week and would love your support as we try to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Thank you all for watching, and long live Bo Jackson!